yellow fruit and the bluish shadows of the rainforest they call home. Next up, all parrots have what we call zygodactyl feet. What does that mean? Have a look at their toes. Two go up, two go down. And a bird like Spud, two have three in the front and one in the back. For a parrot, that means they have an excellent grip on their perches and branches, even allows them to use their feet much like we would use our hands, especially while they are eating. Have a look as we give them a larger treat. They're going to hold it in their foot, take small bites out of it, swallow those bites whole. And you might notice that we have a lefty and a righty up here. That is quite obviously the dominant foot. However, unlike humans, it's the opposite. Most parrots are in fact left-footed, so that makes you the odd man up here. Now they're using their beak to eat. I don't have to point that out. You know that's what it's for. They eat a variety of different nuts, seeds, fruits as well. But they are so strong, those beaks, that they can in fact use them as a third foot. That allows them to be quite acrobatic by nature.
Oh, we got it.
Instead of flying everywhere, they can just easily climb or be a little acrobatic. Now, that being said, seeing a bird as beautiful as this in flight is quite the impressive sight. They are topping speeds at about 50 to 60 kilometers per hour with these wings. And how do they go about steering that flight? Well, that's where that great big long tail comes into play. It's helpful in balancing their flight. However, they can also use it when they fan it out to slow themselves down, to put on the brakes for a nice, safe landing. But they do also use it for switching directions. They shift it from side to side to change their flight direction. And I do believe that Fever and Betty have done an excellent job showcasing these features for us here today. So let's hear it for the two of them. Well, the next bird we would like to introduce you to might not be the most colorful one out here today, but he makes up for it in his own way because his species is the smartest parrot species in the world. This here is Reggie, and Reggie is our tinky parrot. Now Reggie may be a little bit smaller than some of the other birds you're seeing out here today, but do not underestimate him as his intelligence can be compared to a 5-year-old child. African greys are keen learners throughout their entire lives and have been known to learn up to 1,500 words. Now Reggie here knows nowhere near close to 1,500 words because his favorite thing to say is a very quiet hello. A quiet hello from Reggie. Now their ability to learn how to speak makes them a desired pet for many people, but unfortunately the harmful practices used in trapping them for the global pet trade has led to a significant decrease in African grey wild populations. The capture and transport methods used are often harsh, dangerous, and inhumane, which unfortunately means that up to half the parrots trapped do not survive the journey. Now there are organizations that work with government bodies to help tackle the illegal capture and trade of these birds by working together to interrupt networks of trade. They also provide proper care for the rescued individuals and provide education and awareness to neighboring communities so that they can act as a first line of defense against the illegal pet trade. Now we think that is pretty exciting ourselves, but so does Reggie. Pretty excited for it. And we do believe that birds as remarkable as Reggie deserve proper care and a safe environment to call their homes, so we do hope to see those numbers increase as these efforts are enforced. But do you have anything else you want to add today, Reggie? He says yes. Anything else he has to add today? Well, found all the way on the other side of the world in Australia, Indonesia, as well as the surrounding islands, are members of the parrot family known as cockatoos. This here is Petey. Petey is an umbrella cockatoo. She is one of 21 species of cockatoo. Very unique in the parrot world in the fact that they have a crest on the top of their head, which they can lower and raise at will. Would you guys like to see her crest? All right, all on you. We are going to get a big round of applause. Petey, let's see that crest. Ah, there it is. Half and half there. What do you think? Yeah. That's what we're looking for. Now she can use that crest to communicate. Usually we see her when she's feeling a bit excited, of course. Now you might have noticed that when her crest is up, it makes her look a little bit larger. Not a good time, Petey. It makes them look a little bit fierce so they can scare away any predators. Now, being a parrot means she can as well speak, but just wait till you hear how sweet her little voice is. Why don't you give everybody a hello? Hello. Yeah, she's telling herself sound pretty strong out here, but the reality is cockatoos are kind of seen as pest species in their native land of Australia. They'll travel in large flocks, damaging their fields, and they are some of the loudest members of the parrot family. You think these guys are loud? Our cockatoos here can reach decibels of 135. Compare that to a rock concert, which goes maybe at 120. So just imagine all of them in the sky, screaming as loud as they can, eating a free snack in your field. They really don't have the best reputation. But of course, Katie is well loved in her flock here at the safari. We certainly appreciate her personality and all of her excitement. Why don't you show me your crest before you head on home? What do you think, Katie? Show my crest?
Come on.
She's thinking about it. Where's your crest? Yeah. All right, well done today, girl. Well, another major factor limiting parrots' survival in the wild is the loss of their nesting sites. Now, parrots make their nests within tree cavities, meaning that logging, agriculture, and fires can actually make breeding in the wild quite challenging. Now, one thing that is being done to help support wild breeding, where those natural tree cavities are not readily available, is to provide man-made nesting sites, such as the ones that our skeleton will momentarily be hanging out by. Now, one of our partners in conservation, the World Parrot Trust, has added over 100 nest boxes to the wild for multiple parrot species, ensuring a safe and comfortable place for parrots to rest and raise their young. Now, African Lion Safari has had our own successes when providing nest boxes for our parrots, which brings me to the next bird we would like to introduce to everybody. Coming in from the side is FIFA, and FIFA is our 10-year-old green-winged macaw. Now, FIFA actually hatched out right here at the park 10 years ago, but in fact, so did her mother way back in the 1990s. Now, certainly one of the most fascinating aspects of being a bird is that a lot of them have the ability to fly. Of course, not all, but out of the ones that do, we here at Parrot Paradise like to say that none are more beautiful to see in action than a macaw. Now, you and I flying does look like a whole bunch of fun, but for birds it is a means of survival. They might be up in the skies to forage for food, locate a mate, seek shelter, or perhaps they're performing that long migration between their summer and winter homes. But FIFA is quite the stunner, as you can tell, so we figured the best way to include her in our presentation would be to have her fly over the lucky heads of our audience members. So her trainer's going to bring her all the way up into the stands and cue her to fly to that corner where her target is. But in order to do that, we're going to need to give FIFA a little bit of encouragement. So on my count, we're going to count down from 3 and then shout take off as loud as we can. Is everybody ready? Yeah. All right. 3, 2, 1, go! Watch as she uses that tail to fan it out to the brakes. And it's another safe landing. Let's hear it for FIFA today.
A
lot of amazing characteristics of parrots during our presentation today, but there is one thing that they are most well known for. Can anyone shout out what's one thing parrots do everybody wants to hear? Yeah, it is talking. Contrary to popular belief, it's not the larger species like our macaws that make the expert talkers, but it's the smaller ones such as budgies, cockatiels, Amazons, and African greys. Now, a lot of people often ask us to make our birds talk here at Safari, and we simply can't make them do anything they don't want to. But with a little bit of hard work, motivation, and training, we can help them say a few things. So joining us front and center is the stars of our presentation, our yellow-naped Amazon, Fernando, and our yellow-fronted Amazon,
Fernando.
All right, these guys would like to start off by greeting you all.
Say hello.
Very cheerful today. Little Fernando's pretty polite. Today has a question he likes to ask. How are you? Very mumbled. How are you? But seeing some lovely smiles out there. Now we didn't tell you their names, but they do like to introduce themselves, so let's give them their names.